Hello, everyone, and welcome to With Every Heartbeat is Life class. My name is Atiria, and I will be your teacher for this session. This session will be 1 hour long, and we will be talking about healthy lifestyle choices to help us all live healthier and happier lives. I would like to let you know that we have revised the program from last year, and this year we understand the importance of your time, so now the classes are shorter and more interactive. At the end of each class, we will have some sort of physical activity. Today, we will do instant recess. We also want to help all of you with your health goals, so we have goal sheets for all of you that I can keep to help hold each other more accountable. In order to have an open and honest discussion, we need to establish some ground rules and requests. I have some, and if there are any that you think should be added to the list, please let me know. Here are some things you can do to learn the most from these sessions. Feel free to ask questions. Share your personal experiences. This helps the project mean more to all of us. Stay on the subject. Agree to keep group business in the group. Agree to not judge others. Please, if you need to take a phone call, leave the room. Try to come to all the classes. And is there anything else that anyone else would like to add? Fantastic. One last thing before we get started is to know who is all in attendance. So let's go around the room, tell our name, and what we hope to learn from today's class. At the end of last session, we talked about aiming for a healthy weight. Does anybody remember why a healthy weight is important to your heart health? Keeping a healthy reduces your risk of heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, diabetes, and some types of cancer. In today's session, we will learn what we can do to prevent and how we can control diabetes. So, do you remember what's the healthiest way to lose weight? The healthiest way to lose weight is to eat smaller portions of a variety of foods that are lower in fat and calories. You also need to do at least 60 minutes of physical activity on a day on all or most days of the week. How does the food label help people who are trying to lose weight? The food label tells you the serving sizes and number of calories in each serving. So, what is diabetes? At that time, we'll look at page 234 in the participant packet. Diabetes happens when the body does not make enough insulin or cannot use it well. That causes glucose to build up in the blood. As a result, the body does not function well. The food we eat goes to the stomach where it is digested. The food is turned into glucose in the body. Glucose is also called blood sugar. The body uses glucose for energy needed for daily life. The blood takes the glucose to the cells where it is turned into energy. However, glucose cannot enter the cells alone. It needs help. Insulin helps the glucose enter the cells. Insulin is a hormone that is made in the pancreas. If the body does not produce enough insulin or the cells cannot use the insulin well, then the glucose cannot enter the cells and builds up in the blood. People who have high levels of glucose in their blood have prediabetes or diabetes. Now we're going to look at picture card 7.3. What is prediabetes? Prediabetes is a condition in which blood glucose levels are higher than normal, but are not high enough to be diabetes. People with prediabetes are more likely to develop diabetes within the next 10 years. People with prediabetes are also more likely to have a heart attack or stroke. When a person does not have diabetes, the pancreas produces a healthy amount of insulin, which the body can use. Seen here. Type 1 diabetes, the pancreas no longer produces insulin. This requires an insulin pump or shots every day. This is common in children, adolescents, and young adults. Seen right here. Type 2 is when some insulin is produced, but the body cannot use it well. This happens more often in people who are overweight and physically inactive. It usually is treated with pills or sometimes insulin shots. Can occur at any age, but is more common over the age of 40. It's common in African Americans and is increasing among children, especially if they are overweight and African American. Affects 90 to 95 people with diabetes, and that is seen in this bottom here. There is a third type of diabetes called gestational diabetes. It is a form of type 2 diabetes, and it happens during pregnancy. and is more likely in young, overweight women and women who have a family history of diabetes are at higher risk for gestational diabetes. Women who have had gestational diabetes have a much higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. Their children are also at higher risk for becoming overweight and developing diabetes as well. We have talked about living throughout the session. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented and controlled by making healthy food choices, being physically active, and taking medication as prescribed by your doctor. If you have diabetes, it is important to be under a doctor's care and to check your blood glucose as your doctor tells you. So now we're going to explain one of the demonstration bottles. So in this bottle, I have water and a little bit of food coloring. And this kind of demonstrates how blood flows freely. Easy, you can move the bottle, the water flows. If your heart was pumping something like this, it wouldn't have to work fairly hard because it's fairly fluid, easy to move. This bottle has corn syrup and some food coloring in it, and this kind of demonstrates what a person's blood is like when they have diabetes or high blood glucose because there's a lot of sugar in here. And see how thick it moves? Even if I didn't move the bottle real slow, it still does not move like this bottle. So you get your participants to imagine how hard it would be. Just imagine if you was trying to suck something like this up through a straw. Well, how hard your heart has to work and has to beat in order to move something this thick through something so small like an artery or vein. So having diabetes will also put strain on your heart and your blood vessels because it is so thick and so hard to move. So we want to live free without diabetes or manage it as best we can so we're not putting extra strain and stress on our heart. So what are the risk factors for diabetes? Being overweight, having an inactive lifestyle, being of African American, Latino, American Indian, Asian Pacific or Pacific Islanders descent, having had gestational diabetes or given birth to a baby weighing more than 9 pounds, being told by a healthcare provider that you have high blood pressure, cholesterols that are not normal, your HDL is low or your triglycerides are high. Now we're going to look at page 235, and this is a questionnaire survey that your participants will do to determine if they are at risk for diabetes. So check the risk factors that you have. The more risk factors you check, the higher your risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Only your healthcare provider can determine if you have diabetes. On your next visit, figure out for sure. So if they are overweight, have them check the first box, especially if I have extra weight around the waist. I have a parent, brother, or sister with diabetes, they will check that box. My family background is African American, Latino, American Indian, Asian American, or Pacific Islander descent, check that box. They have had gestational diabetes or given birth to a baby, at least one baby weighing more than 9 pounds, check that box. Blood pressure is 140/90 or higher. I have been told by a healthcare professional that I have high blood pressure. Check that box. My cholesterol levels are not normal. My HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol, is 35 milligrams per deciliter or lower. And my triglycerides is 250 milligrams per deciliter or higher. Check that box. I do very little physical activity and I exercise fewer than 3 times a week. Check that box if that's for them. So, what are the symptoms of diabetes? Look at picture card 7.5 and then read on 236. Symptoms of diabetes. The symptoms of type 2 diabetes develop over time. Some people have symptoms and others do not. Here are some symptoms of diabetes. Feeling tired, increased thirst, frequent urination, increased hunger, unexplained weight loss, sores that don't heal, very dry skin, pins and needles, feeling in the feet, blurry vision, feeling irritable. So when you do go to your healthcare provider, you want to find out if you have diabetes, you can take a fasting blood glucose test at the doctor's office or at a lab. A fasting blood glucose level below 100 milligrams per deciliter is normal. That is good news, and fasting means you don't eat for about 8 hours before you take the test. A fasting blood glucose level of 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter is prediabetes. This is a warning that you are at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. It is time to lose weight and be physically active at least 5 days a week. A fasting blood glucose level of 126 milligrams per deciliter or higher means that you have diabetes. If you have diabetes, you should work with your doctor and other healthcare professionals to learn to control it. You can also get non fasting glucose tests at health fairs and other sites in your community. This is done with a glucometer or with a small amount of blood. A non fasting blood glucose level of 200 milligrams per deciliter or higher could mean that you have diabetes. See your doctor to get a fasting blood glucose test if this is the case. You must fast for at least 8 hours before the test. Does anybody know what hypoglycemia is? This is a condition that develops when a person's blood glucose level is too low. This happens when a person with diabetes skips or delays a meal, or eats very little, takes too much insulin or oral diabetes medicine, or does too much physical activity, or drinks alcohol. Symptoms include having a headache, feeling shaky, feeling anxious, feeling dizzy, feeling weak, feeling irritable. If you find yourself having a hypoglycemic episode, try drinking half a cup of fruit juice, 1 cup of milk, take 2 to 3 glucose tablets, or eat 2 teaspoons of sugar or honey. Does anybody know what hyperglycemia is? It is a condition that occurs when a person's blood glucose level is too high. This happens when a person with diabetes eats too much food, is less active than normal, has not taken their medicine, or is sick or feel tension or stress. Symptoms include increased thirst, frequent urination, dry skin, increased hunger, blurry vision, feeling tired, or nausea. Why is what is so dangerous about diabetes? Diabetes can lead to stroke. Amputations. Diabetes can cause nerve damage. The first sign of nerve damage is to lose sensation in the feet or legs. If you have nerve disease, you may lose feeling or have tingling or pain in the toes, feet, or legs. Kidney disease. With diabetes, the excess glucose in the blood damages the blood vessels inside of the kidneys. African Americans are 4 times more likely than whites to develop kidney failure, the final stage of kidney disease. Eye disease. Diabetes can harm your vision or even cause blindness. People with diabetes need to have their eyes examined by a medical eye doctor once a year. Dental problems. An increase in cavities and tooth infections is common in people with poor diabetes control. To prevent tooth decay, brush and floss your teeth every day. See your dentist every 6 months. Heart attack. Over time, diabetes can affect all parts of the nervous system, leads which can lead to loss of strength and muscles, changes in digestion, bladder control, and sexual function, as well as loss of feeling in the feet. So now we're going to look at page 237, tender care for your feet. Diabetes can cause nerve damage, which reduces sensation in your feet. Diabetes may also affect blood flow in your legs and feet, making it harder for cuts and sores to heal. Small injuries may become infected and can become very serious. Daily care. Wash your feet with warm water every day. Dry them carefully, especially between your toes. Look at your feet every day to check for cuts, sores, blisters, redness, calluses, or other problems. If you cannot bend over or pull your feet up to check them, use a mirror or ask someone else to check your feet. If your skin is dry, rub lotion on your feet after you wash and dry them. Do not put lotion between your toes. Smooth corns and calluses gently with an emery board or pumice stone. Do this after your bath or shower. Do not use a pocket knife or razor blade that can cut your skin. Cut toenails once a week after a bath. For your periodic foot exam, remind the healthcare provider to check your feet for at every visit. Get a complete foot exam once a year. If you have problems with your feet, have the health provider check them every 3 to 6 months. When buying footwear, wear well-cushioned shoes and socks at all times. Do not go barefoot. Change your socks every day and make sure they are clean and soft. Buy shoes that are roomy and allow your feet to breathe. Medicare provides coverage for special shoes for people with diabetes. Check your doctor to see if you qualify. Now we're going to look at page 238. Be smart about your heart. Control the ABCs of diabetes. Some people have prediabetes, which is when blood glucose levels are higher than normal but not in diabetes range. People with this condition can reduce the risk of developing diabetes by losing a small amount of weight and increasing their physical activity. If you have diabetes, controlling your blood glucose levels will help prevent complications. The ABCs of diabetes. If you have diabetes, 3 key steps can help you lower your risk for heart attack and stroke. Follow these ABCs. A is for A1C test, which is short for hemoglobin A1C. This test measures your average blood glucose over the past 3 months. It lets you know if your blood glucose level is under control. Get this test twice a year. The number to aim for is below 7. B is for blood pressure. The higher your blood pressure, the harder your heart has to work. Get your blood pressure measured at every doctor's visit. The number to aim for is below 130/80. C is for cholesterol. Maintain a normal cholesterol level. Bad cholesterol or LDL builds up and clogs your arteries. Get your LDL cholesterol tested at least once a year. The number to aim for is below 100 milligrams per deciliter. Be sure to ask your doctor, what are your A1C numbers? What should your particular A1C target numbers be? And what actions you could take to reach your A1C target numbers. Now we're going to look on page 239. Read the food label for sugar. Food labels tell you what you need to know about choosing foods that are lower in calories and sugar. Here is a food label for 100% grape juice. The food label provides lots of useful information. Starting from the top of the food label and working down. Serving size and number of servings. The serving size is 1 cup. There are 8 servings in this container. Amount per serving. The nutrient amounts provided on the label are for 1 serving. If you have more than 1 serving, you will get more calories and nutrients. For example, if you drink 2 servings, which is 2 cups of grape juice, you will take in 300 calories and 64 grams of sugar. Percent daily value. The percent daily value helps you to compare the nutrient amounts in products. There is no percent daily value for calories or sugar. Choose foods with the lowest amount of calories and sugar. And then it also points out the specific areas where you can find the calories and the amount of sugar listed for the cup of grape juice. The choice is yours. Compare. Which one would you choose? Unsweetened iced tea has fewer calories and no sugar. That makes the iced tea a better choice. Read the food labels and choose products to help keep your heart strong. And it gives you the 2 food labels for grape juice and unsweetened iced tea. Now we're going to look on page 242 of the participant packet, and you will show them cards. Now, for our classes, I cut out just print out a picture of a glass of lemonade and put it on a little cardboard, not cardboard, but poster board, and cut that out. Diet soda, grape juice, regular soda, and lemonade. Um, and then just put them on a nice little piece of cardboard so they're sturdy. And then I wrote on the back of each cardboard how many teaspoons of sugar, and I also outlined what a teaspoon would look like on the back so they can kind of visualize. Um, and so now on that page it says, think before you drink, hidden sugar and common beverages. Try to guess the amount of sugar in teaspoons that is found in each drink. Write your answers on the My Guess line. So you give them about 5 minutes maximum, 2, 3 minutes, depending on how big your class is. And they can guess how many teaspoons of sugar that they think is found in your powdered drink, diet soda, grape juice, regular soda, and lemonade. And after that, of course, you ask the participants what their guesses have been, get a consensus as far as the class is concerned, and then give them the answer. So the powdered drink mix with sugar has 9 teaspoons of sugar. The diet soda has 0 teaspoons. The grape juice has 8 teaspoons. Regular soda has 9 1/4 teaspoons, and lemonade has 6 1/4. Um, so now you also give them the chart on 243 that goes over other common things that they may or may not be drinking, um, and how many teaspoons are listed in that. So you also want to let them take that home and be able to like post it on the refrigerator or keep it with them when they go grocery shopping, just so they can know to pick healthier choices when they have the opportunity to do so. What we also did was ask the participants if any of the beverages, like the amount of sugar that are listed, surprise them. So the highest on here would be between the root beer and the fruit punch with 11 1/2 teaspoons. Oh, orange soda has 13 teaspoons of sugar in it. So these are some things that are commonly drank among any and everybody, any age range. So that is probably very going to be very surprising to them. Okay, so we are going to look at page 244 through 246, staying healthy with diabetes, real life stories. So I'll read them. The Harris family reunion. Saturday is the Harris family reunion. Many relatives will bring lots of tasty foods and desserts such as cakes, ice cream, and pies. Harold has not been to a potluck meal since his doctor told him he had diabetes. He has worked hard to make changes in his eating habits. Now, Harold wonders what he and his wife should bring to the family reunion and what foods he should eat while he's there. So, depending on the size of your class, you can go through this as a whole big group, or if it's a larger class and you can break them off into sections. And at that time, you will allow them to go through the various scenarios and give their input on what can Harold bring to the reunion, how can Harold stick to his new eating plan while he's at the reunion, and any other suggestions as to what Harold could do to be healthier and make healthy choices while he's out with his family. For the scenario number 2, Connie bought a new pair of shoes a week ago. She wore them 2 days in a row because her feet felt fine. When she took off her shoes at the end of the second day, however, Connie noticed some red spots on both of her feet and blisters on the big toe of her right foot. She wonders what she needs to do about her red spots and blisters on her feet. Connie is concerned that she did not feel the sores on her feet. She also worries that her diabetes is not under control. So then at that time, you'll go through what can Connie do about the sores on her feet and what should people with diabetes consider when buying shoes. Scene 3 is what is wrong with Angela. Angela and her cousin Dawn go shopping together on a Saturday afternoon. Angela has to stop frequently to use the restroom during her shopping trip, so Dawn, who is a community health worker, asks her if anything is wrong. Angela says she's been feeling tired and thirsty lately and she's been urinating often. Even though she is physically active, Angela worries if she could have diabetes. She asks Dawn what she should do. So go over as a group what Dawn could tell Angela to do if she's wondering if she might have diabetes. On her second visit, when Angela talks to her cousin again, she tells Dawn that she went to the doctor and the doctor confirmed that Angela has diabetes. Angela is afraid. So then you can have the group discuss how can Dawn help Angela overcome her fear of having diabetes. So after they complete this, if you've done it in several small groups, then have them come back together, go over the scenario, and just kind of go over the suggestions that they have for each scenario. But if you've done it as a whole class, then there's no need for that. So that is all for today's session, and I hope you all learned something new today. Um, if you did, please, if you have any new health goals, please list those on your goal sheet and complete your post test. Thank you all for attending this class, and I really appreciate each and every one of you for coming out to learn something new today. Please come back for our next classes as we have sessions on eating on a healthy budget, smoking, and a food variety.